Hey, what's going on, YouTube? So let's get started on wiring harness for the engine and tranny for this thing. See how that goes. See if that goes any better. So let's just hop to it right away. I'll throw you guys in my head this time. All right, so I got the chassis harness, the rear harness off. Don't mind everything being a little wet because the barn gets really humid in the early spring or late spring, early summer, because the walls are so thick. It really holds the moisture in here, but it's no real big deal. But I got the complete harness off, as you've seen. I did have to drop the tank to get the rest of the harness out of the back because it runs behind the gas tank, and I'm gonna disassemble the whole chassis anyways, so not really that big of a deal. I'm gonna save everything because who knows, maybe I'll build a really low mileage perfect RT, and this might be the chassis for that. Make like an OEM one. Who knows? So I'm definitely not gonna throw this chassis away after I'm done using it for what I'm using it for, but everything should be good to go. I got pretty much the only thing I'm going to be able to use from back here anyways is going to be the wiring harness, because I'm not going to be able to reuse any of these brake lines because they're all bent really goofy. They're bent over everything and all around things, and I'm not going to be able to reuse those. Same with the gas lines. Not going to be able to reuse those. Shocks, can't reuse those obviously because I already have coilovers on there. But got that wiring harness off. So now I think I'm going to pull the engine and tranny out, maybe first, but I need to take the rest of the wiring harness off the engine too, because there are some stuff I need to delete off of that harness as well. And then all this evap stuff, I'm not going to be using that, so I'll have to figure out a way to delete that out of the ECU and whatnot, or if I have to do a standalone or whatever have you. We'll figure it out as we go. But I got the wiring harness off. I was gonna video it taking it off, but I had most of it off anyways, unclipped. I really honestly just needed to pull off the engine tranny, and it's in there now. But I was talking to my dad when I was doing it, so I didn't really feel like recording it. We were just chit-chatting about stuff. So I got that all off, and then I need to pull the engine and tranny now, I think. I still need to disconnect the drive shaft, and I need to finish getting the chassis down to bare, because then I can go store this thing. So I think I'll work on that today. I probably won't leave you guys on my head for this part. I'll probably just set it up and do a time lapse, and then just maybe take pieces from that time lapse or whatever have you, because again, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm not sure how this is all going to edit out or edit down and whatnot. So we'll just get hopping to it and get her all stripped down. Yeah, you saw how much of a pain in the butt that was in time lapse? Just imagine doing that with the fenders on. Yeah. These trucks are fun, aren't they? Jeez. And little quick tip for headers for these trucks, since they're in such a confined space and the tubes are all over the place. Like what I did on my my white Dakota when it was a 360 truck. I mean, technically still a 360 truck now, but I always use those really nice ARP bolts where it has like, it's the same size. Like it's the same size, same side head, but it tapers in and it's a smaller head of the bolt. So it's like a flange bolt. And it's real nice because then you can do like a Allen bit then too. So like when I did that thing, I had it the flanged Allen bolts, and it was way easier to take off or put on than this thing because it was, you know, you can put a decent amount of torque in Allen bolts, you know, and you can stick that little rod through there, or little Allen key through there, and get that off and put it on and stuff like that. So that'll be a for sure thing when I turn these headers into turbo headers. They're JBA headers. So I mean, I don't really feel too bad about chopping them up, but that's just what's gonna happen because in their current state, they're not really, you know, good for turboing. So I'm gonna cut them off and put V-bands on them and flip them, and you'll guys will see it in the video. Like I'm not gonna get too much into it now because then I just talk too much. But that's pretty much it for the headers. So we'll just keep clipping away at it. We'll do the drive shaft next and keep her moving, as they like to say up here in good old Wisconsin. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I would like to. I know it's not very drag trucky, but I mean the truck's gonna be fast enough because hopefully, because I'm talking to one of these guys on the Dakota forums. He's very knowledgeable about magnums and stuff, so I'm gonna have him help me build the motor. But I'm not worried about a couple pounds between the front and rear sway bar because, like I said before, this is gonna be like more of an all-around truck. And if I want to go drifting and screw around with it, and you know, I don't want it to look like a freaking sailboat on the freaking road. You know, plus I don't think it's really safe to be driving on the road at any amount of speed. You know, taking corners with out sway bars. Plus my Bogart setup, like if I'm driving on the road and whatnot, if I plan on going screw around, I'm gonna, you know, run the stock wheels probably. So, but that's another problem because now I have to find, well, not have to find, but the brake kit that I'm gonna make is gonna have to fit behind the stock wheels and the Bogarts. So that'll be a thing as well. But now I'm talking way too much again like I normally do. So now I'm gonna take the sway bar off, and I did a couple rough measurements. I took the rear sway up, off the rear sway bar, and I'm going to take the rear sway bar off, and I'm going to see if it'll fit on my suspension setup that I have on the white truck. So we'll do that real quick and then see how it goes, because this whole process is just going to be, you know, like anything else fabrication wise, it's going to be just shooting from the hip. So I mean, there's not going to be any real direction in these videos. They're just going to be whatever the hell I'm doing, whatever I'm recording. So yeah, we'll do that. So time lapse. So I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see what I'm doing over here because it's pretty dark. There's no lights on this side of the shop yet, but it looks like everything is going to just, it's going to clear, but it's going to just barely clear. So, because I actually have to get a different rear diff cover too, because I got that, I put it on my Ram. You want to see that, you go back in my other videos, because this is the same rear end that's in, you know, the Rams, all that kind of stuff. It's 9 1/4. I'm not sure how well it's going to hold up to all the horsepower I'm going to throw at it, but that's neither here nor there. We'll find out. I put my LPW cover on my Ram, and then this one has just the stock cover. I'm going to put that LPW cover on this one. I'm not going to put the one from the Ram, but I'm going to buy another one and put that one on here. But either way, if you can see, I don't think you're gonna be able to see. How about I'll just throw you guys in my head real quick, and then that'll probably be the easiest way to show you with that. So you might still not be able to see, but it's better than what you're looking at right now. So give me. All right. So this is what I was talking about. I had to refilm it because apparently my phone didn't feel like telling my GoPro to connect and start filming. So now I'm doing it again. But this is what I was talking about. So I got real tight clearances. Everything will fit. I think the only issue with this is going to be this right side between the vent and the pan hardbar bracket, which is not really an issue because, you know, I can fabricate things, so I'm not too terribly concerned about making things work. I would say overall, my only real concern is going to be if I change out this center cover, because I want to do that nicer LPW cast aluminum one that's on the same one that's on my Ram. So I want to put that one in here as well. And then, so that one's a little bit thicker and it's got some stuff going on. So I'll have to get that. I'm probably just going to buy leaf spring perches and then put those underneath here and then move them around and however I need to shave them down or whatever have you and make them fit, and then go about doing it that way. So that should more or less be it for that. Carefully set those on my coilovers. So yeah, that should work out really well with having that sway bar in there. They do make upgraded sway bars for the rear, but they're really hard to find for these trucks because these trucks are getting pretty rare. It's a Hotchkiss rear bar. They do a front bar as well, but I mean, this isn't going to be exactly like a pro touring truck or anything like that. I just want a sway bar in it to, you know, for, you know, sway bar things. And if I ever want to go crazy with it anyways, I can always maybe see if I can do like a solid sway bar, like what the hell am I trying to say? Those ones that are like on like stock cars and stuff like that, where it's almost like a torsion. Well, it's not almost like a torsion bar. It's literally a straight torsion bar, and then it's got adjustable ends on it that clamp down on the end, and then you just attach those, and then that's your sway bar versus having all these turns and bends and stuff to, you know, get around things. So that can always be an option too. I'd still have to fabricate a bunch of stuff to try to make that work. I'd probably have to put it real high or, you know, figure out something. But I mean, I'm not there yet as far as that. So, I mean, that sway bar should be enough. But now I'm rambling again. So, yeah, that should be the end of this video. Because it's getting pretty long already because I like to talk a lot, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, it should be the end of this video. I did do a little bit of work more on the chassis, getting some stuff stripped off. Nothing that's really that interesting. Not that anything I do is really interesting. But yeah, so yeah, it's just gonna be a little fabrication stuff like that. I got some of the brake lines. Got some of the brake lines transferred over from that chassis. So I got those on there. So got those on there. They're literally just setting on there. Drive shaft over here. I got the engine pretty much 100% ready to come out. Took the trans lines off. Took the starter off. All that stuff. So she's ready to come out. It's just a matter of doing it and finding space, because pulling this off, I'm gonna make a big mess. So, and then I'm going to build the motor right away as well. So I'm going to run through that, put a bunch of Ford stuff in there, probably do heads right away, because those will be my limiting factor if I build the short block on it. And then intake, your typical 360 stuff. I'll do the M1 4 barrel if I can track one of those down for a decent price. I'm sure I'm going to have to pay an arm and a leg because those things are super hard to find, so I'll do that. And then yeah, strip down the rest of the chassis. But now I'm rambling again. So that should be it, and I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, peace out.